Silence, all stand and remain standing until the conclusion of the reading of the proclamation. Ladies and gentlemen, the proclamation. All persons having any business before this honorable court, please draw nigh, give your attendance, and you shall be heard.
Admission of lawyers. Sandra Bailey.
May it please the court, I move that Sandra Bayer be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
That Sandra Barrier be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Catherine Isabel Beer.
May it please the court, I move that Catherine Isabel Beer be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
That Catherine Isabel Beer be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Lewis Drummond Bonney.
May it please the court, I move that Lewis Drummond Bonney be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
That Lewis Drummond Bonney be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Alex Florence Bridget Joseph Calais.
May it please the court, I move that Alex Florence Brigitte Joseph Calais be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
That Alex Florence Brigitte Joseph Calais be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Mark Andrew Chalita.
May it please the court, I move that Mark Andrew Chalita be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
That Mark Andrew Chalita be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
C. Chen.
May it please the court, I move that C. Chen be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
That C. Chen be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Dominic William Hardy Christie.
May it please the court, I move that Dominic William Hardy be admitted as an honourable. Dominic William Hardy Christie be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
That Dominic William Hardy Christie be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Ruth Irene Cobbold.
May it please the court, I move that Ruth Irene Cobbold be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
That Ruth Irene Cobbold be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Rose Emily Ida Cox.
May it please the court, I move that Rose Emily Ida Cox be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
That Rose Emily Ida Cox be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Karen Ann Legot Durea.
May it please the court, I move that Karen Ann Ligot Duraya be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
That Karen Ann Ligot Duraya be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Tanea Rose DeWeerd.
May it please the court, I move that Tanea Rose DeWeerd be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
That Tanea Rose DeWeerd be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Kelsey Lepelar Gray.
May it please the court, I move that Kelsey Lepelar Gray be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
That Kelsey Lepelar Gray be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Lauren Elizabeth Howe.
May it please the court, I move that Lauren Elizabeth Howe be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
That Lauren Elizabeth Howe be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Caitlin Louise Hutchings.
May it please the court, I move that Caitlin Louise Hutchings be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
That Caitlin Louise Hutchings be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Serena Jane Johnson.
May it please the court, I move that my daughter Serena Jane Johnson be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
That Serena Jane Johnson be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Ankita Kapoor.
May it please the court, I move that Ankita Kapoor be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
That Ankita Kapoor be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Therese Maria Kelly.
May it please the court,
I move that my daughter, Therese Maria Kelly, be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Therese Maria Kelly be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Riley Ivers King.
May it please this court, I move that Riley Ivers King be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Riley Ivers King be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Ashley Brooke Lewis.
May it please the court, I move that Ashley Brooke Lewis be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Ashley Brooke Lewis be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Paul Graham Library.
May it please the court, I move that Paul Graham Library be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Paul Graham Library be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Victoria Rose Lowe.
May it please the court, I move that Victoria Rose Lowe be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Victoria Rose Lowe be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Erin Minnie Mack.
May it please the court, I move that Erin Minnie Mack be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Erin Minnie Mack be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Bronte Eleanor McAlpin.
May it please the court, I move that Bronte Eleanor McAlpin be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Bronte Eleanor McAlpin be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Milena Mitic.
May it please the court, I move that Milena Mitic be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Milena Mitic be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Robin Grace Morton.
May it please the court, I move that my mother, Robin Grace Morton, be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Robin Grace Morton be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Helena Marie Nilsson.
May it please the court, I move that Helena Marie Nilsson be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Helena Marie Nilsson be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Gabriella Juliet O'Grady.
May it please the court, I move that my daughter, Gabriella Juliet O'Grady, be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Gabriella Juliet O'Grady be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Eloise Sophia Ottery.
May it please the court, I move that Eloise Sophia Ottery be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Eloise Sophia Ottery be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Timothy William McCallum Pilkington.
May it please the court, I move that Timothy William McCallum Pilkington be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Timothy William McCallum Pilkington be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Christine Rivers Preston.
May it please the court, I move that Christine Rivers Preston be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Thank you. Let Christine Rivers Preston be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Elreen Jacon Valena Kwan.
May it please the court, I move that Elreen Jacon Valena Kwan be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Elreen Jacon Valena Kwan be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Fatima Nashwa Sami.
May it please the court, I move that Fatima Nashwa Sami be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Fatima Nashwa Sami be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Lexi Ann Savage.
May it please the court, I move that Lexi Ann Savage be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
That Lexi Ann Savage be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Ella Simon.
May it please the court, I move that my daughter Ella Simon be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Ella Simon be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Justin Song.
May it please the court, I move my son Justin Song to be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Justin Song be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Bonnie Mae Sykes.
May it please the court, I move that Bonnie Mae Sykes be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Bonnie Mae Sykes be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Marina Tadros.
May it please the court, I move that Marina Tadros be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Marina Tadros be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Courtney Louise Tillman.
May it please the court, I move that Courtney Louise Tillman be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Courtney Louise Tillman be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Sarah Waddington.
May it please the court, I move that Sarah Waddington be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Sarah Waddington be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Lillian Hong Ni Tan Wan.
May it please the court, I move that Lillian Hongi Wan be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Lillian Hongi Wan be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Wu Hao Wang.
May it please the court, I move that Wu Hao Wang be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Wu Hao Wang be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Saxon John Ward.
May it please the court, I move that Saxon John Ward be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Saxon John Ward be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Leanne Wong.
May it please the court, I move that Leanne Wong be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Leanne Wong be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Ali Zane.
May it please the court, I move that Ali Zane be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Ali Zane be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Wajahat Ahmed Zia.
May it please the court, I move that Wajahat Ahmed Zia be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Wajahat Ahmed Zia be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Eric Julian Zykov.
May it please the court, I move that Eric Julian Zykov be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Eric Julian Zykov be admitted as a lawyer of this court. It will now be necessary for those applicants whose submission has just been moved to stand as directed and remain standing for the purpose of swearing an oath or making a declaration or affirmation. So please stand as directed by the officiating officer.
Would the first two rows please stand? Sandra Bayer, Catherine Isabel Beer, Lewis Drummond Bonney, Alex Florence Bridget Joseph Calais, Mark Andrew Chalita, C. Chen, Dominic William Hardy Christie, Ruth Irene Cobbold, Rose Emily Ida Cox, Karen Ann Legot Deraya, Tanea Rose DeWeerd, Kelsey Lepelar Gray, Lauren Elizabeth Howe, Caitlin Louise Hutchings, Serena Jane Johnson. Do you severally swear or declare and affirm that you will truly and honestly conduct yourselves in the practice of a lawyer of the Supreme Court of New South Wales, and that you will faithfully serve as such in the administration of the laws and usages of this state according to the best of your knowledge, skill and ability? Would you please say, "So help me God," or "I do"?
So help me God.
Would you please be seated? Would the third and fourth row please stand? Ankita Kapoor, Therese Maria Kelly, Riley Ivers King, Ashley Brooke Lewis, Paul Graham Library, Victoria Rose Lowe, Erin Minnie Mack, Bronte Eleanor McAlpin, Milena Mitich, Robin Grace Morton, Helena Marie Nilsson, Gabriella Juliet O'Grady, Eloise Sophia Ottery, Timothy William McCallum Pilkington, Christine Rivers Preston, Elreen Jakan Balena Kwan, Fathima Nashwa Sami, Lexi Ann Savage. Do you severally swear or declare and affirm that you will truly and honestly conduct yourselves in the practice of a lawyer of the Supreme Court of New South Wales, and that you will faithfully serve as such in the administration of the laws and usages of this state according to the best of your knowledge, skill and ability? Would you please say, "So help me God," or "I do"?
So help me God.
Would you please be seated? Would the two rows to my left please stand? Ella Simon, Justin Song, Bonnie Mae Sykes, Marina Tadros, Courtney Louise Tillman, Sarah Waddington, Lillian Hong Ni Wan, Wu Hao Wang, Saxon John Ward, Leanne Wong, Ali Zain, Wajahat Ahmet Zia, Eric Julian Zykov. Do you severally swear or declare and affirm that you will truly and honestly conduct yourselves in the practice of a lawyer of the Supreme Court of New South Wales, and that you will faithfully serve as such in the administration of the laws and usages of this state according to the best of your knowledge, skill and ability? Would you please say, "So help me God," or "I do"? Would you please be seated?
Well, may I warmly welcome you all to the Banco Court of the Supreme Court of New South Wales. Present with me on the bench today is, to my right, Justice Wright, who is a judge of the Common Law Division of the Supreme Court. To my immediate left, Justice Dangy, also a judge of the Common Law Division, and Associate Justice Harrison, associate judge in the Common Law Division as well. Together we constitute the court that has, in the exercise of its jurisdiction, admitted you to practice this afternoon. We have done so sitting on the land for which the Gadigal of the Eora Nation have cared and been custodians for thousands of years. And the court pays its sincere respects to elders past and present, and extends those respects to all First Nations people. Well, to all the newly admitted lawyers here today in the court, welcome to the legal profession. Today is one for celebration, and I'm also pleased to welcome those with you today or watching on the live stream. For many of you, the support of your family and friends has been invaluable. No doubt they've also been on the receiving end of your finely polished or emerging skills of argument and persuasion. I encourage you to take time to thank them today. Depending on how good an advocate you have become, you might even convince them to shout you dinner or at least several rounds of drinks after the ceremony. We on the bench know how hard you've all worked to reach this day. It is a memory that never really leaves you. And for most of you, your journey has involved 2 or 3 very challenging final years affected by the challenges of the pandemic. You've managed to complete those legal studies and qualifications with this additional adversity unprecedented in our lifetimes, and that makes your achievements in arriving all the more impressive. The resilience you have developed will stand you well into the future. Being admitted as a lawyer of this court, you join an honourable and ancient profession with the custom of advocates swearing an oath on admission to practice dating back to the 12th century. This court first admitted lawyers in 1824, almost 200 years ago, and by 1830 the names of all lawyers were entered onto the rolls in this state, just as you will do in the lobby downstairs immediately after this ceremony. It is in acknowledgement of the weighty responsibility that we observe today's unique formalities, including the fact that your admission has been moved by someone who was already a member of the legal profession, and that you have made a formal oath or affirmation in the presence of your family and peers, as well as the court. They are all, as are we, witness to the promises and undertakings you have made today in your oaths and affirmations. The law touches every part of our society, and it can and will lead you all in many different directions and career paths. But in whatever direction you head, you must always remember that the oath or affirmation that you have just made is a serious one and deserves solemn regard. Whether you work in private practice, at the bar, in a community legal centre, a Crown Law office, a government department or agency, or in an entirely different field, you should be known for your honesty. You must be known for your honesty, your integrity and your commitment to justice. And you must strive at all times to uphold and adhere to these cardinal values. Admission as a member of the legal profession is a privilege. It is not a right. I referred earlier to tradition and formality, and you will see from some of the portraits of former Chief Justices on the walls of this court that we on the bench are wearing the same robes, in some cases literally, as have been worn by our predecessors. Symbolically, this highlights the continuity of the rule of law in New South Wales, although the judges wearing the robes are now drawn from an increasingly diverse pool. As to continuity of the rule of law, in a world in which there is much global uncertainty and insecurity, the rule of law is more important than ever, and not simply a phrase for theoretical or academic use. The rule of law is the opposite of the arbitrary abuse of power and the rule of autocratic dictators and populists. We know, unfortunately, from current affairs, that there is nothing theoretical about those threats. Notwithstanding the formality and tradition to which I've referred, not everything in the legal profession remains unchanging. The COVID-19 pandemic meant that we had a rapid shift to increased use of virtual courtroom technology to ensure that access to justice was maintained in the midst of and throughout the challenges of the pandemic. And we are proud of what was able to have been achieved in terms of continuing access to the courts. But we also salute those other professions, especially medical, nursing and educational professions, who did so much for our community throughout the pandemic. Returning to the legal profession, the technological impetus brought about by the pandemic has also delivered greater workplace flexibility, which is especially important for lawyers with family and caring responsibilities, and also for both lawyers and clients in regional and remote communities. The technological developments have had profound implications for how our legal system interacts with and may become accessible to many more people. Although the increased use of technology offers a number of advantages, the practice of the law has human nature, human interaction, and human beings at its core. An essential part of being a good lawyer is understanding people, human nature, how others react to different situations, perform under pressure, and deal with each other. And as I said in my swearing-in speech as Chief Justice earlier this year, whilst the remote or virtual practice of the law may be possible, it is, at least in my opinion, far from desirable. There are, of course, other changes that deserve attention in addition to those that have been brought about by the pandemic. When we think of the diversity of the legal profession, there is a duality. We've come a very long way, but there's still more to be done. For example, although women were originally not even permitted to practice law in this state, since 2018, women have made up more than half of all solicitors with a practicing certificate in New South Wales, and they currently make up 2/3 of solicitors under the age of 30. And some of the most senior positions in the law in Australia, including the current Chief Justices of the High Court and Victoria, Queensland and the ACT, as well as the President of our Court of Appeal, Justice Ward, are very distinguished female lawyers, as is the current State Director of Public Prosecutions, the current Senior Public Defender, the current President of the Bar Association and the Law Society, and I acknowledge the presence also of Ms Needham, a former President of the New South Wales Bar Association, sitting at the bar table today. There should also be strong representation of lawyers from the many different backgrounds which comprise our cosmopolitan community. Diverse representation amongst solicitors, advocates and judges assists in ensuring that all people who become involved in our justice system can and feel that they can be properly heard, properly represented and fairly engaged with by a system reflective of our broad, diverse community. The admissions ceremonies on which I have sat since becoming a judge almost 4 years ago now, including this ceremony, highlight that there is a far greater diversity of background amongst junior lawyers than when I commenced practice about 30 years ago. That is a very good thing, and the leaders of the profession and the courts are working hard to foster inclusiveness and diversity. That in turn builds trust in and respect for both the judiciary and the legal profession, and trust in the judiciary and of the legal profession are critical elements to ensuring a stable, mature, democratic society. You, the newly admitted lawyers, enter the profession at a time when, perhaps more than ever, your words and actions are having an impact for good. And shortly I will invite two young lawyers from the Bar and the Law Society who were in your shoes not so very long ago to say a few words of welcome to you. I hope you will find that the legal profession is one rich with opportunity. But let me offer a little bit more advice before I call on them. As a lawyer, you'll often need to make difficult ethical decisions. It's part of the challenge of the practice. You must use the tools you have developed to think critically and not compromise on your fundamental duties to the court and to the administration of justice. One mistake you must strive not to make is to give your clients the advice you think that they want to hear. I can tell you now that that will almost certainly not be good advice. Justice Gageler, before he became a High Court judge, once said, and I quote, "You must be prepared to give the same answer to the same questions for the same reasons, no matter who asks the questions or for what purpose or in what context the asking may occur." That is very good advice, as one might expect from Justice Gageler. Being a lawyer means that you are an advisor, a problem solver, a mediator, and an advocate. And as you go about your day-to-day work, remember that you're not merely dealing with the law in a vacuum, but the law as it applies to people's lives. An individual in need of your services as a lawyer will, in many cases, very many cases, be an individual facing some kind of great personal challenge or crisis affecting his or her liberty, property, personal well-being, health or financial position or security. For these reasons, you must always strive to deliver legal services sensitively, competently and fearlessly, yes, but always with courtesy and integrity, including to your opponents and their clients. In this context, one invokes the sometimes thought of as old-fashioned concept of civility. Aspects of the law, especially if you're involved in the litigation side of practice, are by nature confrontational. The practice of the law can be stressful and demanding enough without personal animus and antagonism between practitioners adding to the load, as it sometimes does. My advice is that it is essential that you strive to maintain your detachment, balance and good humour, remembering at all times that you're now members of a profession and not a business. Remember this also, that the best advocates can and do make their point simply and succinctly. Often less is more. Some of the most experienced lawyers and judges, from whom I do not exclude myself, could use that reminder from time to time. For a non-lawyer, law is often incomprehensible, and one of the challenges and one of your roles as a lawyer will be to make the law accessible to others, sometimes by deciphering legal complexities, other times by deciphering poor legal drafting, other times sorting out complex facts and putting them into an understandable, intelligible legal framework. Strive to be clear and concise at all times in both your writing and your speaking. At various points of your career, you will make mistakes, some minor, some more serious. We all have done. We all make mistakes from time to time, especially when we are starting something new. What is important is you try not to make the same mistakes twice. And if you do make mistakes, that your commitment to honesty, integrity, and the administration of justice means that you must take responsibility, correct what you can, and learn from those errors. In the practice of the law, your physical and mental health are both extremely important. There may, and I dare say will be times when you feel overwhelmed, burnt out, or distressed, legal practice can be all-consuming and physically and mentally taxing. Now, that's often because lawyers are motivated to do as well as they possibly can for their clients. They will go the extra mile, they'll put in the extra hours to make sure they're prepared and they're producing the best outcome for their clients, and that's an honourable, admirable aspect of the profession. But it can be all-consuming and it can be physically and mentally demanding. So you must work hard to try and keep your balance and keep your eye up to ensure that your colleagues do as well. But you can remember this, or know this, that the law is a highly collegiate and supportive profession. And in this context, let me now call upon representatives of the New South Wales Bar Association and of the Law Society of New South Wales to offer a few words of welcome to you. Mr. Trahanis, do you move?
May it please the Court. My name is Christina Trahanis and I have been practising for 4 years at the bar, predominantly in commercial law and public law. On behalf of the New South Wales Bar Association, I welcome you to the legal profession. The legal profession is an old profession based on precedent and the rule of law, while also being a profession that grows and develops to adapt to new practices and technology, and most importantly, to society's values as they change over time. For several decades now, the composition of lawyers and barristers in New South Wales has changed to better reflect the community. The bar today is a welcoming place for people of all genders and backgrounds, and you are welcome, either straight away or after some time as a solicitor, to apply to come to the bar. It is an honour to be a lawyer, and in my case, a barrister, and I am very proud to be a member of the legal profession. I enjoy the intellectual challenge of my job, and that it allows me to give expert advice to and represent people in court, and to contribute to society in a meaningful way. If you are interested in coming to the bar, you can contact the New South Wales Bar Association or have a look at its website on the steps to take. And each year there is a Career at the Bar open day. To become a barrister, you must pass the bar exams and satisfactorily complete the bar practice course and reading requirements in your first year at the bar. In terms of the support available, in your first year of practice as a reader, you have 2 tutors who are barristers of at least 7 years seniority, who meet with you weekly, review your work, and teach you practical skills, whether by appearing with them in court or otherwise. The bar is also renowned for its collegiality, especially in chambers, so that you are not isolated or alone. The New South Wales Bar Association is the professional body that supports barristers, and it has several committees, including, for example, a New Barristers Committee, which organises social and educational functions for 0 to 5 year barristers like me, a Wellbeing Committee, which runs seminars on health and wellbeing, promoting balance between work and the other parts of your life, and a Diversity and Equality Committee that promotes one of the key strategic goals of the New South Wales Bar Association: to attract the best people to become barristers, regardless of their race, religion, gender, parental status, or sexual preference. Whether as a lawyer or barrister, I encourage you to get involved in the Law Society or Bar Association and to use your skills to assist your community. It is a rewarding experience to practice in connection with others in your profession. Once again, on behalf of the New South Wales Bar Association, I welcome you to the legal profession, and I congratulate you on your admission today as a lawyer of this honourable court. May it please the court.
Thank you, Mr. Trahanis. Ms. Rafter from the Law Society, do you move?
May it please the court. My name is Alana Rafter, and not so long ago, I was standing where you are today. and what a day it is. You are being admitted to the Supreme Court roll, the final step after a long and arduous journey. It is no small feat. You should all feel immensely proud of what you have achieved thus far. When I embarked upon my career as a lawyer some 5 years ago, I wasn't sure about what to expect. It was, at times, overwhelming, and it certainly wasn't always easy. But as I stand here today, after 4 years as an associate at this court, and now as an associate at Australian Business Lawyers and Advisors, I can tell you that I've learned a lesson or two. One of the most critical things I have learned, even when taking a not-so-linear path in law, is the importance of belonging to a profession. The legal profession is an increasingly large and diverse community, and one to which you now belong. The Law Society of New South Wales is a home for that community. With its 20,000 plus members spread far and wide throughout the state, together we are bound by our shared duties, our commitment to continuous learning, our desire to connect, and our drive to give back to our communities and uphold the rule of law. As an early career lawyer, having a strong network of your peers is crucial. That is why I have been a member of the Law Society's New South Wales Young Lawyers branch for the past 3 years. There, I have found inspiration, guidance, and support when I needed it most. I also found opportunities for advocacy and to participate in various committees. By joining the Law Society, and with that New South Wales Young Lawyers, you will have opportunities for mentoring and professional support, which is so important in those early years. You will also gain access to events, conferences, and have opportunities for volunteering, further professional development, and the list goes on. It is the role of the Law Society to ensure that you, as newly minted solicitors, can thrive and succeed in your new profession. So once again, congratulations to you all. Look us up or speak with your employers. We look forward to welcoming you all into the Law Society community. May it please the court.
Thank you, Ms. Rafter. Well, may I say this to you all in closing. The law is a wonderful profession. It's stimulating, it's challenging, satisfying, and it's populated by intelligent, committed, and dynamic people. You should be proud to be a lawyer and of your achievements to date, and you should remain proud to be a lawyer. It's a very important profession, and you are now a very important part of it. So on behalf of Justices Wright, Dangy, Harrison, myself, and all our colleagues on the Supreme Court, I once again congratulate you on your admission today and welcome you to the legal profession. The court will now adjourn.
All stand. This honourable court is now adjourned.